Okay, Professor Babalola, we're very happy to have you in our studios.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so it's wonderful talking to you in this setting, seeing you in the other setting, but happy to see you now in this setting.
Face to face. Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Now, the country is ailing. In terms of the economy, the country is ailing. My question is, medically, is the country healthy?
Well, obviously, if the country is not doing well economically, it tends to have some kind of effect on the health of the citizenry. So, if I were to answer that question as to whether the country is doing well health-wise, I would probably say we can do better. We can do much better than we're doing at the moment.
Okay, the reason why I asked is, if we look at the life expectancy of the average Nigerian, it is at best 55. I've seen numbers from 52 to 55 years of age.
That'll be about correct.
Yes. Then I go to Senegal, and I look at Senegal in the same West Africa, and our per capita GDP is said to be higher or larger than theirs. And it is like 60 something. And I'm wondering what's happening here. So that means that the quality of life in Nigeria, if I'm using per capita, if I'm using life expectancy, has to be poorer in Nigeria than in Senegal. And could that have also then have an effect on the performance of the economy? If you have people whose quality of life is not that good, whose life expectancy, it means you don't carry a lot of experience going forward. Life expectancy is not that high. Is it possible that there's a transmission from the health side to the economy? Yeah, so that's why I said, are we medically healthy?
Well, first of all, when you are looking at the life expectancy at birth of a nation as big as Nigeria, you have to remember that there is a lot of regional variation. Yeah. So for instance, the lowest figures probably come from the Northeast. And of course, we all know what is going on in the Northeast. We have had this insurgency going on there for years. And of course, again, the other northern, because obviously in the country we have these 6 geopolitical zones. So if you were to take the 3 northern geopolitical zones, they probably will have lower life expectancies than in the southern geopolitical zones. And so particularly the figures we're getting from the northeast geopolitical zone is dragging down the whole country in terms of life expectancy at birth. So if, for instance, you were to say, okay, let's look at what is happening in terms of the life expectancy at birth in the southwest, for instance, probably very close to what you're getting in Senegal. Yeah. You understand? Because it's a big country, therefore you have to look at everything holistically.
Yeah. So now when you look at development, and we were just talking before we came on set, what the key things are always looked at include education and health. If you were to just kind of give us a connection in your view, between health and development, what are the key things that people should look at? When we're looking at, okay, we want to be economically advanced, we want to have higher incomes, we want to have all of this, but we also want to be healthy. So which one comes first? Is it, do you get economically strong, your incomes are high, then you get healthy, or you get healthy, then your incomes rise?
Well, it's a vicious cycle, and so you really cannot say that it's a chicken and egg situation. Yeah, and obviously they say that a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. Yes. If your citizens are not healthy, they cannot produce. They cannot produce on the farms. They cannot produce in the factories. They cannot produce in terms of services and so on and so forth. I mean, if our workforce spend quite a number of a significant proportion of their time looking after their health, then obviously they are not productive while they are taking care of their health. And the issue is that many of the problems that are at the forefront of the health challenges we have in the country are still things that are either, curable or preventable. Common diseases that we need to get that are preventable. Things like tuberculosis, things like malaria, things like cholera.
Yeah.
All these things are easily, with a few sensible health measures. You could bring down the, prevalence of these diseases in less than one generation. You could totally transform the picture. And then you'll be left with dealing only with, the issues that Western countries are dealing with now.
Yeah.
Such as maybe cancer and hypertension.
So for us, the communicable diseases are more prevalent than the non-communicable diseases? Or which one?
The communicable diseases at the moment are bigger killers.
The communicable diseases?
Certainly they are. Malaria, for instance, is a very big one.
Yeah.
HIV/AIDS is a big one. And then the gastrointestinal, diseases, diarrhea, vomiting, gastroenteritis, and so on, cholera. All these things are the huge. Yeah. Are the main things that lead to mortality in our country at the moment.
Notice, I saw an analysis where death from HIV was higher than in Nigeria than from accidents.
I won't be
from a car accident, and probably I think it was like in the top 3, and I was really surprised to see that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
When I thought that we had solved that problem.
Certainly no, we're far from solving that problem because at the moment the prevalence of HIV/AIDS, of course, it varies from part to part in the country.
Yeah,
but on average, still about between 4 to 5%, which is just
pretty
too high.
If we take it to 5% of say 200 million. That's like 10 million people
living with HIV.
It's like whole countries.
Exactly. So
my goodness.
Whereas in the Western countries probably have prevalences of about 0.1% now or lower.
Yeah.
In the UK, for instance, it's about 0.1% or lower.
Yeah.
And so you can see the huge discrepancy, and that segment of the population living with HIV cannot be as productive as
absolutely not. Yeah.
So we have about 20 million people living with HIV. That's just mind-boggling.
That's mind-boggling.
So basically, it's still a huge amount of work, particularly in terms of educating the people, because I still see that a lot of people take risks.
Yeah.
Unprotected sex and all that, and
is that risk taking, or is that I wanted to call it another name, but I don't want to use that word. Is that ignorance? I may go and say I wanted to say stupidity, but okay. So let me not say stupidity. Is it risk, or is it ignorance, or what is it that makes somebody, Because I talk to people, and I'm shocked when I hear certain kinds of behavior that you see from people. Is it really risk?
Well, that's the technical term we use for it in health circles is, risky health.
Yeah.
Risky sexual
behavior.
Yes, that's what we call it.
That means they know that this is what can happen.
Yeah,
and
but
they say,
I think your point that
yeah,
it's still possible that quite a significant segment of our populace do not know that they're taking this risk.
Yes.
And the education needs to be stepped up somehow.